always you take at 10%.
10%.
It's way more in the US. It's like double that.
4 years.
4 years too.
Yeah.
In a row, 1 year, 3 months.
8 years.
3 years.
You forever.
30 something. Are there any culture difference?
Yes. Many.
The first one coming on the top of my head is like the ajushi, like spitting on the street. But they don't blow out their nose. They keep like, and they spit in the street. This is like the biggest culture difference I can think. Oh.
They're not using their hands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is the biggest one, and I hate that.
For me, I think is that here you have to be quiet a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a subway, if you're in the bus, if you're walking on a certain street, we are too loud. We foreigners are usually too loud.
The stairs.
Too many stairs everywhere.
Besides the stairs, like everywhere, like for example, when you're in a group, most of the time there's like the group and you continue with your group the whole stair. And here it's to the right if you are not running and to the left if you are running. Like when they like go climb. In Mexico, at least, that's not like a culture thing. Just if you see someone that is passing, you move a little bit, people pass, and then you continue with your friends like in the escalator. So when I figured out here, I was like, oh wow. I was like, why not? So like, I'm talking with you. And like, no, this side. I was like,
In São Paulo is pretty much the same though. It's just the opposite side. Like we wait on the left, like we stop
Oh,
on
like
the
in
left
Japan.
and people pass by it. Yeah, on the right. But like we also have this of like we leave the space, and especially on very crowded areas because there's a lot of people like running on places.
Mexico, I think they trying to put that culture, but it's not like yet to everyone to know because there's also like someone in the stairs, or like they hang out in the stairs and they are in the stairs. Like this is the stairs, there's the people, and then you can't pass. So a lot of times happen that. So here that everything is flow, that everything flows. It's like wow,
Wow, this is so cool.
this is so cool. But sometimes they push you and then you don't know how, and then you continue walking and you don't know to which exit are you going.
I think it's different also like from regions because some parts of Brazil they're very calm and like very slow as well. But like from São Paulo, people ask me a lot like, oh, what is different from Seoul and Brazil? I'm like, I'm from São Paulo, it's the same. I don't see differences from São Paulo and Seoul. Like the rhythm is like ta 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 ta. Everybody's always rushed.
Yeah,
It's a
right.
big city just like Seoul, so I feel like pretty much the same, but some parts of Brazil they would argue to say the opposite.
Yeah, so I'm from the States, and there's a stereotype that a lot of Americans make a lot of small talk, which is not really a thing in Korea. In the States, even just, going into a store, you're like, oh yeah, the weather's really hot today, or oh, I really like your outfit. But even small things like we would ask, oh hey, are you in line? Oh, okay. You know, just asking questions like that, but it's not as common in Korea. So it's good for introverts, but for people who are really extroverted, then some of my American friends had some difficulties. They're really extroverted, trying to make friends because the culture is kind of different in that way.
For me, it's the individualism, I would say, because in Turkey, when we're doing something, we consider other people first, not like ourselves, like our family or friends, but people here like put themselves first. I feel like so very individualistic, and I think the obsession with looks and brands showing off, it's kind of, even though you come from money, it's kind of rude to show off in Turkey. So that's how you know if someone is new money or old money. But here it's the same, doesn't matter. Showing off is a culture, I feel like, which is kind of rude back in my country.
She pointed out something that is, I haven't thought about it, but maybe that is the biggest difference. Like in Brazil, I feel that people, they don't dress up for anything. Like not that don't dress up for anything, but like not everything that they're gonna do, they're gonna dress up, like be careful, like put their makeup on and like prepare their hair. While here in Korea, sometimes even if you're going to the convenience store, you're gonna see people like really well dressed. And there it's like only when you have specific events, you're gonna properly dress up and like put all the effort on, or when you're going on a date, but not like on your daily life. And here, every Korean like put so much effort into looking good that changed so much my habits here.
For me, it's the opposite. Like in France, we dress up like, if you go outside, you have like be dressed up at least a little bit. No makeup, that's fun, but you have to be dressed up. So the first time I came to Korea, I saw people in the convenience store like wearing like the long padding with the pajama pants, and I was like, why? Like I could not wear that like outside. People see you, you know? And even right now, still in the university, I see people like wearing just like jogging or like
like really comfortable, and I'm like, why? Like people see you, you have to be well dressed, you know. But now I'm used to it, so I'm
Like
fine
with the
it.
Crocs.
Yeah.
Like that I'm not used to that one. The Crocs or the sandals. They put sandals with the
Yeah, the
socks,
slippers.
The slippers, and they're going out. It's winter. Like guys, it's winter. I need to catch a cold, and here's using like the socks, and they're like walking like that in the snow. And I'm like, what? Like for me, that's really shocking. Like it's like completely different for me. Like for me, like
same,
my
same.
mom, even though like being like with my socks in my house, if you're walking like that, you're going to get sick. Because in the mentality, Mexican mentality, and grandma, the cold or all the like sickness enters for the feet.
It's funny because where I'm from in the US, in Massachusetts, it's the same. Like you'll see people with like shorts and like sandals with socks. Yeah, I don't know why. I feel like cold places, they just try to endure the cold. Personally, I don't like the cold. As you can see, I don't like the cold, so.
Don't leave your bicycle without lock. I think in Korea, that's weird. I know this is our culture, and then our environment is very safe. It's very safe to live wherever. Even at cafe, I also left my MacBook or AirPod, whatever. But there's a weird thing. People, not people. How can I say? Thief always just steal bicycle.
There's a bicycle gang.
Just appeal over bicycle. So except it, I think you guys may be overwhelmed to singing. People don't care about their stuff in cafe or in just park, wherever. But except bicycle, I don't know why, but it's almost a fact. Because I also happened that. Really? So when I see that, it's not scary. Why? Even that is not expensive bicycle, why? I don't know why.
So interesting, yeah, because I see so many people, they leave their laptops and phones and then they go to the bathroom. And that's more valuable and easy to sell than a bike. Who's buying a bike?
And how do you sell it? Like at least with the bicycles, you're like with the phones, like which phone do you want? Or with the bicycle, how you can put like a bicycle under your coat, like which bicycle?
Even phone, cell phone case, it is very, easy to being stolen, right? Phone. But even once I lost my phone, but I found it.
That's not something that would happen in Brazil. In Brazil, if you lose your phone, you say like, "Oh, I don't know where my phone is." They're like, "You have to buy a new one. We don't expect to find yours. You're not gonna."
You don't even search it.
You're like, what a shame. You're like, okay, I need to buy a new phone. Like you don't even try it. You're like, oh.
You know you're not gonna find it.
Yeah, but actually I'm wondering, is there a little bit culture shock to see just people just leave there?
Too much. Way too much.
The first time I was taking my stuff everywhere when I was going to toilet, and my boyfriend was like, "No, just leave it. Just leave it. That's fine." But when the bicycle, Luan, be careful. You have like to put the lock, okay? Why?
And then I should check, double check.
You know what? One people will go and one people will stay, and after when I finish, you go back. One people should stay.
Yes.
I'm like,
we never go to the toilet. Like when I'm with my Brazilian friends, even here in Korea sometimes, like, oh, I want to go to the toilet. Me too. You go first. So they go and I stay on the table, and then when they come back, then I go. Because like we watch the things. We don't want to, it's like, Or one thing, like here in Korea, when you're going to a restaurant, like a fast food place, for example, and then you first find the place, you leave your stuff, and then you go buy. Well, that's not how it works in Brazil. You buy and then you find a place, because like you're never gonna leave your stuff in the table without supervision.
someone stay and you're like,
It's a person. You need to be like at least in a couple,
Yes.
friends or whatever. It's like you find a place to sit. I'm going to grab something.
tell me your menu.
Put like the things, or call me, or like scream to me like I found it.
We never leave just there.
Secondly, subway seats have a meaning.
The pink one.
Yeah.
3 ones on the end of the car.
All the other one are brown and there is one pink man like
one
with like a pregnant. So you can guess, okay, it's for pregnant woman.
Which honestly, after some time living here, it started pissing me off whenever I see someone who's not pregnant sitting in there.
Me too. Because if we sit there, everyone will stare at you. But if it's a Korean sitting here who is not
okay.
pregnant, okay, it's okay.
So it kind of angers me. And sometimes I even see like younger people or so on, like seeing like the other people sitting on their chair and on the pink chair, and they're like, that's not okay. They also keep staring. I'm like, I'm staring with you. That's not okay.
Stare together.
Yeah, I think it's different in Korea compared to other countries. Maybe some cities in the States and also in other countries. I've been in Europe and stuff. Because I guess there's this kind of unwritten rule in other places where if there aren't any pregnant or maybe elderly or disabled people, it's okay to sit in those seats. But if you do see someone, then you should stand up. So I think it's kind of like that in a lot of countries, but I feel like in Korea, you really follow the rules. Even if there's like nobody else, you still will not, like people will not sit in the disabled seats and the pregnant seats, and it's considered quite rude. So there'd be a lot more judgment if people were to sit in those seats. But in other countries, it's like you can sit, but you should get up. And people do often get up, like in the States.
In the subway is so much more strict. It's like if you're sitting there, people are gonna judge you so badly.
The thing is, you don't need to leave tips.
I feel like this tipping thing is way more strong in America.
We don't have that in France.
I have it in Mexico.
Yeah, extremely strong because like people, they don't make enough money with just the regular wages for certain service jobs. I know it's changed recently, but I know like way back then, people would only be getting like a few dollars an hour. And then most of their income for waiters and waitresses would be tips. So if they don't get a tip, then they're not really getting paid for that hour. Or, you know, their income is so low, but it should be, I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of...
You feel forced to give money, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And especially after COVID, tipping has been increasing and almost kind of mandatory because a lot of people are struggling in their businesses. Really, really rude if you don't tip in the US. And yeah, it's definitely burdensome. Like.
Yeah, also Mexico, you need to tip like at minimum, like always you tip at 10%.
10%.
It's way more in the US. It's like double that.
Like that's the minimum to put like the 10%. That if it's a good service, if it's 50%, when it's like Christmas, like I think you put a little bit more because depending on your account. But I think like in everything, even like if you go to the tacos that are like in a taco place, taco ang, you even give like something and you put tip. Like in everything, at least in Mexico, even though like the service is not really good because just our minimum wage of earning, it's really, really low.
For restaurants in Brazil, it's the same. We give like about 10% tip, but you can choose not to give it. But then it's like, oh, was our service bad? You can ask, I don't want to tip, but usually it's included only on restaurants.
We just don't tip in France. We tip only if like the employee was really nice to us. Like, oh, we really had a good time thanks to him. So when we go to pay, there is in front of the cashier like some balls with like the name of the employee, and oh, this guy serves me, so I will give him like €2 tip, like some things like that. The maximum maybe 5, but we'd give a really little, like almost never a tip.
Then have you guys ever just pay for tip in Korea at first?
No, I was so happy for that.
Don't wait for a waiter.
저기요!
Finally! Don't wait for a waiter. Yeah, right. Don't wait. You guys don't need to wait for a waiter. Just
Match their eyes. Like,
Yes, eye contact. Or like this, like kiss me, but you're like shy.
Actually, I'm taking advantage of my voice volume. 여기요. They are 던져볼
We wait.
We should not call them. This is really rude to call like server, like really rude. We have to make an eye contact.
Or if there is like he's passing, and then you say like, excuse me.
Eye contact like meerkat.
But we never like scream, be like,
Is it rude?
this is a Korean thing.
We feel like if you call them like that, it's calling like a dog. Like you don't respect them at all. Never.
I understand
What people do in Brazil though, sometimes in some restaurants, they go like, oh really? Yeah, some places they go like, campeão, which is like, hey bruh, oh sir, come here.
Oh, that
We would never do that in France.
Like, we do that.
Like the server will like punch you, I think, in the face. For like.
But like it's usually only if you're already like a regular at the place and like you go like. But some people do that, especially like yeah. But what we usually do is like we wait until we see or have eye contact and be like,
Could you please like?
that's
And also for example, we need to wait for the waitress to give us like to pay.
Oh yeah,
You
the
don't
bill.
pay them from like you wait for the bill and just like at least in Mexico we say like this one like the bill.
You
wait
make
for the eye contact.
You make an eye contact with the server and you.
So in the States, they also rely on tips, right? So I feel like they really try to give you a lot of service if you're in a sit-down restaurant, so they come many times to your table. So they'll be like, oh, how is everything? Oh, do you want any desserts? Do you want any appetizers? Oh, here, and then they refill your water, usually, just automatically.
Not to drink water.
Yeah, but so a lot of times you do, but usually you don't call them over, you just try to make eye contact.
But like you have that in Korea too, like not calling but the button. But what about Turkey? Because I didn't like. How do you call you the server?
We just like do the same usually, or like, could you please like, you know, you just do this, you just look around.
And then don't worry to press the wrong button in elevator.
That is magical. When I first did it, I was like, why do we not have this in Brazil? This is beautiful.
I didn't know that, so I was like, oops. And then I put the other bottom, the one, and then a Korean, like it was a Natushi. He just saw me, and then he just canceled mine, and I was like, oh, can I do that?
But like I don't know about in France. I think it's the same as other country, but like we don't use that much elevator because we don't have like big building in France.
Don't worry if there is not fourth floor. Even hospital, never. There are no room for patient. In Korea, 7 is a lucky 7. I think we like number 3 in the Korean trade. And the 4 is like desk. 4 meaning is desk. For normally, in a building, many of a building, F, right. Many of just building there is no F, just no number 4, just F. There is no just first floor for just patients or people.
If I'm not mistaken, it's because it comes from the Chinese alphabet where the kanza means can be either number 4 or death. So like because it means the same thing, like it came to Japan and Korea as well and other countries like Vietnam that also use it.
Then was it confusing when I come to Korea?
No, I mean I already knew it before coming here, but I know that some people they get confused. They're like, where's the number 4? Like why are there? Yeah, some people don't know.
Yeah, at first I was kind of confused where the 4th was, but I was told about that superstition when I first came here.
I knew about it too. I was not confused about that, but I was confused about the first floor because in France,
I was confused about the first
because
floor too.
in France and maybe then in other country, we start with like 0, and after first to like,
And this one is 1, 2, 3.
so the 0 floor here is the first floor in Turkey.
0?
Yeah, because there's no floor.
Yeah, because there is no floor. There's no like room in there. So you go first floor up.
So I was not confused with the 4, just like four like that, you know.
And you're like, why am I in the 5? You are like, this is not 4, this is, where is the 5? Like, did I did something wrong? And then you keep in count like 1, 2, 3, not 0, 1, 2, 3.
In Brazil, you're either gonna find the floor 0 or you're gonna find the floor T, which is like from terrain, like the terreo. Yeah, which is like the base floor. So it's like where you come to take the elevator, where the reception is, and then the first floor is like the first up.
Don't put your hands together like this. I think I never done this.
That's because you don't do that.
Thailand, they do that a lot.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it comes from Buddhism, and like a lot of people tend to think that because it's Asia, whenever you're saying hi or thank you, you have to do this. So like there is this misconception. A lot of people, when they impersonate Asians, they go like, oh, arigato, oh, 감사합니다, oh, because of like this idea of Buddha. Yes. So like, oh, everything in Asia is Buddhist. I taught my family not to do that as well because like when I was starting to find out about the whole culture and stuff, I was like, guys, that's not nice. That's actually very rude. Like because that's not how they do it. Don't do that.
Don't care too much about meal invitation. 다음에 밥 한번 먹자. Actually, that is in Korea way, just to say goodbye. Because we feel like, 잘 가. It's very, boring to say goodbye. Like,
Brazil is the same. Brazil is the same. Yeah. I struggle with my foreigner friends because sometimes they're like, okay, when? And I'm like, what do you mean when? No, I mean, I like day.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's why it's more awkward to just a partner or just an opponent person like, do you want to have meal together? Oh, what do you want?
Yeah.
Let's sit together.
And like, oh no, that's not what I mean.
Later, I'm gonna text you. Just Kakao after that.
Yeah. You never text them again.
Yeah, that happens a lot. But I also think like with food is such a big thing in Korean culture. Also asking, how are you? Oh, did you eat? What did you eat? And yeah, at first I thought that was kind of like strange, but now it's a way of them showing that they care about you. But yeah, a lot of times, like sometimes my friends would be like, okay, yeah, let's grab some like something to eat sometime, and don't hear it. It's just kind of like a greeting and something you say to each other, to friends.
And don't pay for more kimchi. You don't need to pay for kimchi. Always. If you wanna eat more kimchi, imo. It means like aunt. Actually, we used to just honor call like that. And then if you guys wanna eat more just kimchi, kimchi 더 주세요. Then you're gonna just eat more. Yeah.
Free.
I feel like this is very nice. Like here in Korea, you order one piece of food and like you end up with so much in your
Maybe,
table.
yeah, at least 3.
Yeah.
But I think it's like really a cultural thing because kimchi like is free, but in France when you go to restaurant, like the bread is free.
Yeah.
They give it to you. So it's just your kimchi is my bread, like you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, every country has their own things. I have totopos that is like tortilla, that is fried tortilla.
And if I were owner of the shop or restaurant, if just foreigner people, can I eat more kimchi? Maybe it'll be very happy moment. Yeah.
You like
Yeah,
kimchi?
you want eat whatever you want. Yeah. Tons of time you can eat more of kimchi. Do not call oppa for stranger.
But I cannot even call oppa like my guy friends. Like I feel
I don't.
there is like I'm trying to flirting with them, and I'm like, no, I don't
Yes,
want.
thank you so much for explaining that one.
Like I met them, I don't know their name, so now I have to call them something, but I cannot ask their name again. Then I'm like, oh no, wow.
I got to the sense in which either I say 그쪽은요? Like, what about that
Your
side?
side? Yeah. What's your side?
Or I say like, 죄송하지만 그 이름이 야기했는데 까먹었어요. 다음번 또 야기할 수 있어요? And then they're like,
Right.
oh, my name is blah. Or I make a situation where I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna introduce a friend of mine who don't know them and be like, hey, this is my friend. And then they go like, hi, I am blah. And then they have to say their name again. So I pay attention. I'm like, okay.
Me, I just don't call them, or if they are close to me, I'm like, are you fine if I'm calling you by your name because he's older than me? So are you fine? And if he's not, okay, I don't call you then.
I just start making names. Like, because sometimes they're so complicated for me. It's like, your face looks like Diego. Can I call you Diego?
To everyone,
Carlos.
you're Diego, you're Diego.
You're Diego, you're Carlos, you're David, and over there, Juan.
Well, I think foreigner people already watch K-drama or K-entertainment program. So you guys used to hear that oppa.
As a love thing.
Even for me, I'm not used to calling just older person oppa. If they are very intimate people, intimate guy, even only that case, I call them just oppa. Otherwise, just call their name and then 님. 누구누구님. 오빠 is very weird. Yeah, it's a very interesting and that's a weird moment. So I've never known you guys think like that, and then there is a confusion about this situation. This is really fun.
I like to listen the Korean part. Most of the time, I only hang out with foreigners or with Latin people that we are like totally opposite. And I don't have like a lot of Korean friends because I don't speak Korean, I speak K-drama. So it's like, what do you think about us? What do you think about us?
You look so like jelly. You're gonna Korean or something, yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting because most of the times I feel like my Korean friends as well, like, and Koreans in general, they're kind of clueless to what our point of view is on things like that. Like what is hard for us, like calling someone, how to call someone, or like why sometimes foreigners do that. And like, but why do you do that? So there's stuff like that it's kind of interesting to see, like from a Korean point of view.
Today we talk about the thing foreigners shouldn't do in Korea.
If you like the video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below.
We will see you next time.
Bye!